Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sister. Welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything. Politics, religion, any subject matter you so desire, we speak about it. That is what is most important. You can always intervene. You can always introduce your own subject matter. And today we have a big sports meeting going on, intercalling St. George's, but also we have other issues of importance. And one of them is the government intends to establish a teaching hospital. I've heard the government said over and over, they're going to make a teaching hospital. I don't know exactly what is a teaching hospital. The government is noted for not giving explanation. My understanding of the magnitude of that project, it seems it will cost about $100 million or more just to construct. We are a small country, 110,000 people. We have 2 hospitals here. And all of us would agree that because of the lack of money, the hospital is not functioning as good as it could be. I take strong issue with a lot of people who condemn the hospital system carte blanche. I believe we are not giving our health system enough praise. And things is not as bad as we claiming to be. But it needs improving. And we must address it. And government must not be afraid to speak about the challenges we face. But a new teaching hospital, what they mean, I don't understand. I have asked a number of hardline NDC individuals because I believe they ought to know. They ought to know. If you are acting as a political activist of a political party, a social media warrior of a political party, you must know about some of the fundamental issues of the party. What would you defend if you don't know? So I was not able to get any answers from them. The government, all of us know, seems to have a phobia for the press. Even the press that appears or seem to be friendly to them, either the press afraid them or they afraid the press. So the government must explain to us what they mean by a teaching hospital. The government of Grenada is not a university. So I see the necessity for a university to have a teaching hospital. Would the government get rid of the St. George's Hospital? Would the government get rid of Maribo, Princess Alice Hospital? If they intend to spend money to build a teaching hospital, what happened to the other hospitals? How will a teaching hospital benefit the people from Montreach and Montreal? These communities was badly stressed out and brutalized and taken advantage of during the revolution. And since Dick Mitchell unearthed Maurice Bishop's spirit, one would have to constantly make reference to these communities. Please tell us, give us justification, give us reason. What you mean when you say a teaching hospital and how it would benefit Grenada. Particularly the people in the areas I call Tivoli and the surrounding areas, River Sally, Paul's, Kuma, Post Royal, how would a teaching hospital benefit these people? Is it a place for experiment? Do you expect our people to be guinea pigs in the hospital? Is it an area for doctors to practice on? You see, we have to be concerned. We have to be concerned. If Grenada intends to build a teaching hospital, and we hope to get people to come and practice. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, they come back line the people are going there again, you know. There is lie. There is lie. They don't come in no hospital. 1. 2, they tell the people are going there, they don't making nobody go. They making everybody permanent. Who walking. So they come back in the same lie again. But that can help them. They could climb Google tree. That can help them. You understand? So they take Grenada as fools. You understand? Lying give us. And some of us drinking it. So it don't make a sense they practicing that because we get to know them and we know them already. Thank you, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, you see, we have to be informed as a people. We can't continue to be tricked. We're supposed to have enough experience now. Not because we are not highly literate. Not because we don't have a briefcase or certificate. But Eric Gary built 28 schools in 13 and a half years. And Eric Gary was not a university graduate. He never been to college. He never been to secondary school. So you who did not have the opportunity to have tertiary education, let no one fool you. And I must add again, let us find out from Dick Mitchell what he means when he says teaching hospital. Is it a hospital to practice on Grenadians? You see, hospitals in the United States of America and Europe, they want medical doctors with 5 years experience. They want a medical doctor with 5 years experience. So Grenada may find itself as a guinea pig. Grenada might be exposing its citizens for inexperienced medical doctors to get their experience. The government has not been entertaining the press. Now, if you have a project of that magnitude, yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Yes, they want to build a teaching hospital. So what is wrong with SGU? SGU and teaching the same doctors and nurses? What they want to do?
We have to find out.
Because if we have SGU, but what they send them, and when they leave there, they're going to greener pastures. So what they're teaching, who they're teaching, why they're teaching. Get rid of what you have to teach somebody for somebody else's country. This is why here giving up finance.
Well, I think that's the best decision the Prime Minister has made. If he's doing it, I've been begging for weeks now for the Prime Minister to change the Minister of Finance.
Because he can't check. He cannot check.
He presents a budget that is a disaster for low-income group people.
And if he ain't living in Grenada, so why you expect?
The Prime Minister should change the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance is embarrassing the country. So the Prime Minister should change it.
He should change the Prime Minister too. Because these people are even here to take cost.
You have to be reasonable. You can ask for things that you wouldn't get. Remember, Eric Gary said the difficult things we do now, the impossible we'll do it tomorrow.
Well, yes, because he asking the people to deal with marketing board, the debitors, to take a haircut, to take a half.
Where you get the
Why
word
then
haircut from?
why you go and stay in government house and save the $27,000 he paying there?
Well, that is what the people have to tell him. You take a haircut and we're going to take one.
Yes. Move from afro to bald head.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. Move from afro to bald head and wear pants in the waist. That's what I have for him.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I think it's important for the ordinary man to ask questions. Our journalist has lost their tongue. The government of Grenada is avoiding the press. They are not having press conference. They are having session that is extremely safe, and the members would not ask these questions. If we're going to spend millions of dollars on a teaching hospital, what benefit Grenadians have? Is it the intention to use us as guinea pigs? Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. All right, you look as we lose this caller or something. Caller, try again. You must give us explanation. We don't know. We genuinely don't know. Barbados has a teaching hospital. Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, they have a teaching hospital. Grenada is not building a hospital. Yes, caller. Welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, caller, welcome.
The pension they say they pay, they stop pay pension?
Well, it's an ongoing thing, you know. So you don't hear nothing about it again because that is fait accompli. Some people go in and get a pension, you know. It's an ongoing thing.
But what about someone who do get nothing at all?
Well, if they don't get nothing, they make a noise. They're happy. And once they not make a noise, the government is comfortable.
Well, you have a lot of people behind who have to get a pension. You know?
Yeah, but if you don't get your pension, you make noise.
Because I have 42 years service inside, and them just come and some just work 20-something years and they get in pension.
Well, if you had 42 years and you was not in a pensionable post, you get tricked.
I get tricked.
Yeah. You was not in a pensionable post.
So me want to get tricked.
So not you one, but you one that talking. They can trick a lot of individuals.
But that's the same. Yeah. I hope he trick himself just the same, you know.
Well, normally people don't go out to trick themselves. Yeah, sometimes they end up tricking themselves.
Well, he tricking himself.
I think, well, maybe.
Because the next step is, guys, if we live to see, very well we get in the election.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. You see, we don't have to be emotional. We have to ask questions. If we don't ask questions, we cannot claim 4 or 5 or 10 years down the road. We can't play innocence. They say ignorance of the law is no excuse. We have an opportunity to find out from Deacon Mitchell and the Minister of Health and the members of the National Democratic Congress. Why are you building a teaching hospital in Grenada? How will it benefit our people? It would be nice if they could give us reference, comparability. Because this is a new concept to Grenada. We have a university of the West Indies here, of the St. George's University. And it's in their interest to have facilities for the students to practice. Normally, they would work with a government facility so that the children could get some practice. The students, if the government decide to build a teaching hospital in Grenada, Grenada could well turn the guinea pig for doctors to practice. I don't know. I'm asking. Now we must ask the government, how the teaching hospital will be able to improve the health system in Grenada within the next 10 years. where you intend to source the money for that mega project. What would you do with St. George's Hospital and Princess Alice Hospital? What would you do with it? Would Grenada have 3 hospitals? What would you do with it? We must know, what is the cost of the land that you're purchasing? Are you giving the person share in the hospital? Would O'Halloran benefit from it? Is O'Halloran behind it? Because Mr. 10% does not be out of the action. It is simply baffling for this concept to develop, for the government to put it in motion, and the Grenada Trade Union Council, the civic organization, the opposition, they seek no buy-in in the project. We must avoid shallow memory. During the next 10 years, as the government tries to build a teaching hospital, do we expect everything to grind to a halt while the government makes preparation to provide a facility for medical doctors to practice on? Or they would have maintained St. George's Hospital at a reasonable quality, so who don't want to go to the hospital where doctors practicing could continue to go to St. George's Hospital? Now, if you don't provide information first, speculation would run wild. So we plead with the government, give us explanation. If you want to improve the health system in Grenada, yes, caller, tell us.
Good day, sir.
Welcome, my brother.
I think when people who ask me to find out something, I think is my responsibility.
Go right ahead.
There is a young lady posed a question here to me, and she tell me to ask you. At the rate the country is going, and at the rate the government is operating, how long do you think we have to wait? If we have to wait for another 4 years again before election, or something could be done? Because she said how things is going, the people start getting fed up. So I don't know if you have a reply on that. That's a question that was just posed to me. Yeah, that's all.
Yes, caller. Caller, I said one day after the budget was read that the budget was a disaster for some people, and it is very good for other people. You have to understand, the government that is present in power, the interest of the government is not in lower income group. The government seems to be more hostile to people in the lower income group. Why do I say that? As soon as the government come in power, all the actions they take are disadvantageous to people in the lower income group. They remove the hard women from Carrico, the women of pause, the road wardens, some of the women in the health care program, they lost their job. 30 workers on Paradise Estate, 10 workers based in Maribor involved in the source management issue. The government get rid of marketing board. Yet, now they have to pay individuals marketing board, or they want to pay them half price. The government policy, the government fundamental policy is not in the interest of people in the lower income group. So who is getting upset? Some people are very happy. Now let me go on the other side now. How people in the higher income group are benefiting from the government action. They like the government. They're happy with what's going on, and they want it to continue. The unions, they got money they did not work for. They went to court. They lost the case. The court said you don't have to, you are not legally entitled. Deacon said he giving any money. He gave them. The government felt that it was important to provide more income for the ministers because he don't want to get them corrupt. So he gave them additional money. The government within 1 year, I would not be surprised if government spent over $1 million just on traveling. The government paid the pensioners their money. And nothing is wrong with that. But what is crazy, the government did not pay them in stages at tranche to ease up the burden of liquidity on the government. The government cut the pay at the elderly, the marginalized instead. So the government is going as planned. Whose interest the government is seeking? The government is not seeking interest the people you're speaking about. The government provide a tax break for people who should have paid the tax and didn't pay it. Well, if you owe government tax and you get a break, Color, you must be happy and glad, and you want this government to stay. So once you are somebody in Grenada with discretionary income and you have to pay tax, you would like NDC. Because every time NDC in power, they give you a tax break. So the next time a government come, you could don't pay them tax. And just wait and pray NDC come back. And you'll get a next tax break. So the government policy, nothing is wrong with a government policy, generally. Because people are supposed to vote the government in power based upon the philosophy of government. But my heart goes out to some people because I believe the government deceived the people. They sat down and they make a pile of lies. And they lie in pile. And it acts as a law. And people voted for them expecting to be made permanent. This is why I speak about them, because my heart goes out to them. The government lies was so juicy that if you wasn't thinking, you will be tricked. So the question, Color, at hand now is the government is building a teaching hospital, and I'm asking why. In whose interest? Why the Grenada government refused to seek the interests of people in the lower income group? And would they be used as guinea pigs for people who are not yet professionals to practice on? See, I'm extremely suspicious. I'm extremely suspicious about the government's intention. Yes, Scholar, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, good day.
Yes, Scholar.
Yes, on that topic there. You tell me how much acres of land the present hospital is on? You have any idea?
Maybe about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5.
Why, that, I don't even think that they are not whole acre land.
Well, yes, I mean...
So why you need 90 acres of land to put on a house?
93, I think.
To meet our priorities, you said agriculture. Why 90? Based on how they say something about 90 something acres of land.
Yeah.
Where I have about 45 acres of land. And we say that go from from village to village.
Yeah.
That 45 acre land reach. So just imagine 90 acre. That's a lot of land to put on a building.
Yeah, a lot of
So I
land.
don't know what they need all this land for.
But what is the plan? They must be planning to bring helicopter on it. Sometimes you have to have space for helicopter pad to land. You see, when the government, don't underestimate Grenadian. When the government not giving you information, you have to be, Grenadians have to open it. The government is not giving you information. But Deacon was sold as a man with contact and deep pockets. That is how he was sold, you know. I mean, if you want... Yeah. So you could have a few helicopter pads. So they need space. But why is it Grenada want to harbor a culture of practicing on your citizens? Because if you build the government instead of building a hospital, you know, and they're going to accommodate some level of internship, you know, watch the words the government is using. The government is not saying we're going to build a modernized hospital and expand it. And we will even be able to attract more interns. The government said they're building a teaching hospital. Government is a university. Are they creating an environment for people to practice? One have to be. When Grenada was building the medical school in Grenada, they built a medical school. You know, when a man come out in university, he have to be on internship for 2 years or 1 year, 6 months, it doesn't matter. And he can just giving you injection just so he have to be supervised. But the government building a teaching hospital, everything else is secondary. I'm asking if that is the only teaching hospital in the Caribbean. And who the government expect to be the clientele is 100,000 Grenadians you have. If you're doing kidney operation in Grenada, you may not have 10 operations in a year. And if I have to remove my kidneys, I would prefer to go to a doctor that have had several dozens of experience. So why Grenada? Who Grenada selling themselves to? You see, if there is no information, we can't say 10 years from now, our children cannot say they didn't have the opportunity to ask questions. We need to ask the government question. How would the teaching hospital benefit the people of Kuma? How would it benefit River Sally people? How would they benefit? Now, I want to throw out for argument's sake or for discussion. If the government of Grenada genuinely want to improve the health of our people, it is better in the short term and the medium term that the government bring clinic facilities in Grenada in every parish. So for 4 days of the week, you could go in this St. Patrick's Health Center, and within 12 hours of the day, you would have the opportunity to see a doctor. So the government should bring 2 or 3 doctors in the clinic so that they will be able to operate for 12 hours of the day for 4 days a week. In one of the better established clinics in the parish, for 4 days for the week, for 12 hours of the day, you can go and expect to see the doctor. 1 day must be for children. 1 day must be for children. And 3 days for adults, general or adults. 1 day for 4 days of the week. You must be able to go to the government clinic and get the attention of a dentist. For 4 days of the week, in one of the clinics, a dentist is supposed to be accessible, available, so you could chat with the dentist. So you would have people losing their teeth because they've never been to the dentist. Then we could encourage 1 day in particular for children. And the dentist might even go and counsel people in the school. Now we must not be tricked. This teaching hospital look as a trick. It look as a big grandiose plan to make money, to rip off our people. I'm not convinced. I'm extremely suspicious. If you understand what is a teaching hospital, please tell me. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, world boss, Dr. Kit Mitchell. He see the bill at international airport, and they see we don't want to build one too. Right? All the years talking about building hospital. World boss, build a hospital. So the still could be better. Mr. Pierre, remember, who break down the medical center and go? Which party, which government break down the medical health center and go? As far as like, you see that break it down?
Yeah, I think it was them that try to fix it.
Yeah, but and the Roman say, all they will build the best thing in Guam. Yeah. But still, keep Michelle come and give them a sweet building in Guam. And I'll tell you again, if Kit Mitchell build an international airport, then the city would want to build one. Thank you, Mr. P.
Yes, I think the time has come. I don't blame politicians. I've always said I have a very soft heart for politicians. I don't blame them. I am very disappointed in the University of the West Indies. And a lot of our intellectuals, I believe they sell out their people. This is one of the reasons I don't care. I don't care about reparation. I will make no effort for reparation. If you could, Grenada government could get money, get it. It's good. All money good. Even if it's lotto money, good. But it's our people that sold us in slavery. Not the white man. For 700 years, Africa was selling slaves before the white man gone by. The Arabs used to castrate the male slaves. I sit down and I watch Tilaya and know she struggles. She have 10 children. She made 7 with Addington Wood. Dyer sent him in jail because he cut dry wood to put to light fire. He was a good cricketer in the community. So from jail, he make for Trinidad. He lived till later. 2 weeks after she childborn, she gone thief blogger. And Dyer sent her in jail again. Now 10 children. Only 1 child that had tertiary education. The child even in tongue, she bright like smoke. But she disowned Tilita. She don't meddle with Tilita. I've seen so many examples in our society of people who have a briefcase of certificate neglecting their relatives, their parents. They don't want to identify with. That the man on the street have to be careful of these intellectuals who stay on the side and they loafing. He have a position in football they call a loafer. He loafing. He don't intend to work so hard for the goal, but every opportunity loafing. Some of them are only looking for the curriculum vitae. They want to use established organization to add to the curriculum vitae. I tell you, I had a conversation with John Galt kept miss. Since they come and had this meeting with Imani and tell them those over 35 go lose their job, they'll go home. Me and her had a good conversation. She become very philosophical like John Galt. And she that tell me this morning that they want to join thing just to add to the curriculum vitae. I don't look up the word good yet to know the meaning. But you could ask your child to look up the meaning give you, because all of them have phone. And if they don't looking it up, don't give them money to put on the phone. You have power over your children, you know. You don't be right to beat them, but the money they're getting is from you. So if you call them and you say, look up this word, and they don't look it up, no money for the phone. So they know when mama call, they must go and look it up. I don't show what it means. Curriculum vitae. They say they just want to add. They don't care. They don't care. Their interest is not your interest. And the ordinary man have to start to ask this question. What is the value of a teaching hospital? How would it benefit the people from River Sally, Guave? How would it benefit the people from Kumande? If you genuinely want to help improve the health system in Grenada, make certain that the St. Patrick's Clinic in Sates, the clinic in Guave, the clinic in St. David, at least one clinic in the parish, you have access to a doctor 4 times for the week. And for 12 hours of the day, you know you could access a doctor. So that means you have to have at least 2 or 3 doctors functioning in the clinic. That would lift the stress and the weight and the burden that we provide for Maribor and St. George's. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, come back again.
Yes,
as you was born there, you know. I born in the 50s. And when I born in where you call Cotomili, St. John's, Brooklyn area there. And I know he's a doctor living in the station in Grand Rye, and I'm not living there. You could go there in the night, you go there in the day. Every time you go there, if a doctor there, living there in Grand Rye, medical station. You know what I mean? I was surprised when the both political parties build medical centers in their community and you know, doctor, when 8 o'clock the place closed down. You know what I mean? I just say them place should have a doctor and us living in it. Thank you, sir.
Yes, they're in a different status color. They don't want to live in the community again. They don't want to interact with the ordinary man in the community. Now, if the government is interested in improving the health system in Grenada, we must not let Dick Mitchell government trick Grenadians. He must know what is the quantum of money. Where are you going to get the money to build the hospital? What is the main objective of the hospital? Who you want to experiment on? Preventative health is one of the most important parts of health and one of the most neglected parts. If the government is genuine about health, challenge the government. Let them put doctors in the clinic. You have a facility in Guave for 3-4 days for the week. You're supposed to go inside here and get the doctor attendance. And the doctor might be able to sit down with you for half an hour and talk. And put you at ease. Because you may not have the crowd 30 a day when the doctors go to some clinics now. Well, let me be careful. Not yesterday. A long time I don't go to the government clinic to check doctor. But when I used to go to the government clinic to check doctor, they seen 30 people. They're supposed to come 9 o'clock. They come in after 11 sometime. And by 1, 2, they're out of the office. And if you look sharp, almost everybody getting the same medicine. And the doctor quarreling if the nurse take more than 30. And some people 6 o'clock, they're waiting in front of the medical station to get a name. Some people send their children to put a name. Now, if this government is genuinely interested in healthcare, then let them put doctors in the clinic so we can have to start 12 hours a day. You could rest assured you could access a doctor for 3-4 days of the week. And for 3-4 days of the week, you could access a dentist. The teeth in your mouth is to last you all your life. The teeth in your mouth is to last you all your life. So if the dentist is there regularly, they would help us to take care of the teeth in our mouth. But by the time you go in dentist now, if you don't get a dentist, if you see a carpenter, you're making them take out your teeth in your mouth. And you have to go to private doctors, dentists. If you see a carpenter, because when teeth hurting you, it's the worst pain in the world. And it's near to your head. So you think it's going to affect your brains. Now if your toe hurting you, you're not getting afraid so much. But when your teeth hurting you, you feel it near to your brains. So if the government is interested, yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, sir.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Now, I don't believe no teaching hospital is coming. You see, that statement you are making about the poor and vulnerable so penetrative. This government has been looking for something to divert the attention of the Grenadian public, because where you clamor into the poor people 150, the young people that lose their job. Look, this morning I heard they having funds to help some people in Dunfermline what lost their job, and they have nothing for survival. So he's looking for something so they could divert the attention of the Grenadian public, because they realize it's so important when you're speaking of poor and vulnerable. I don't believe they could handle a teaching hospital at this time. Secondly, I don't believe the Deacon administration even want the whole NDC around them. He want to have just the juvenile, the inexperienced people around him. So he don't want what could advise him. This is why he imitating Bishop policy. He loved Bishop policy. He don't even know Bishop. But he loved that man policy because this man, the only reason why he don't doing exactly like is because he was voted in. He was not a one-man rule. So he cannot take certain decisions he want to take. They also say this government have belly and they will take some rough decision, and that's what NNP used to take. NNP a bit soft. So I don't know if you agree. That's the way I see it. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Color. Color, we must not be naive. We must not be naive. There are hospitals in the world, in the United States and Europe, and they seek doctors with 5 years experience. Because more people die from doctor mistake than what die from road accident and gunshot wound in the United States of America. So hospitals are getting sued. They want experienced doctors. And they have to get them from somewhere. So if they establish a teaching hospital in Grenada, it could well be a hospital for guinea pigs. So we want to know if that is Deacon's intention. Because remember, they say Deacon ain't come in politics for long, you know. There are some things I pay attention to. A gentleman at middle age comes into politics and he has been sold as a man with deep pockets and a lot of contact. But he also say he only come for 10 years. So the fight with Deacon is not long term, you know. He would not be as a career politician. He is there to seek whose interests and to add to his curriculum vitae. And we always, the unsuspecting people in our country, must wise up. We must ask questions. You have to have politicians that you know. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, scholar.
Mr. Pierre disappointed in. Yes.
Well, scholar, most people disappointed in me, you know. The questions I ask and the statement I make, I hardly have friends, you know. Caller, you there? You call back. Call back, caller. You call back. I hardly have friends. You know, I don't think a teacher wants to see me in grade now. Because if 70% of the children that exit school cannot meet the basic requirement, something really head off with teachers. Caller, if Deacon Mitchell is building a teaching hospital, he has a responsibility, he has a duty, he has a moral obligation to explain to our public what is the benefit they would get. Caller, we can't close our eyes. Remember, our foreparents sold us in slavery. They were selling slaves 700 years before the white man started battling. I hear a lot of historians and individuals blaming the Europeans for the manner in which they treat us. And yes, that's bad in truth. But they're not blaming the African leaders. Caller, you cannot have people in our society who benefit from tertiary education. Government pay them. They were paid by government to go to university. Government spend between $50 and $500,000 on them. And when they come back, they don't even want to work in this country. Some of them never come back. Caller, where are our island scholars that we spend a lot of money on to go to university to get educated? They refuse to come back and serve this country. Caller, we have loafers in politics. They stay on the side. From time to time, political parties look leaderless. And they say they have the best chance to come in now. They only come in for the curriculum vitae. That's what John Gold kept me tell me. So caller, the time has come for us to ask questions. call back and answer the question I'm asking you. Yes, caller.
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Go right
There
ahead.
is something I notice about some people in our society, and that is once you haven't got the monkey syndrome, because my description of someone with monkey syndrome is one who don't think. All they do is to imitate. And those in society who think and question things, they are hated. And that is the problem that this gentleman have with you. Because you is a thinking person. And you know, just accepting. Like the scripture tell us, we ought to prove all things and hold to that which is truth. Have a good day, sir.
Yeah, caller, I think some people want to defend the political party. And to be very frank, my heart goes out to a lot of militant NDC now. Because Deacon is not providing information for them so they can defend it. A lot of them is not satisfied that they fire all these people. A lot of NDC is uncomfortable with the fact that you're building a teaching hospital and they can't explain what you're doing. They too are concerned. So I think the caller just but he wants to defend Deacon Mitchell. And it's difficult to defend the NDC now. Very difficult. Because they was so critical of the previous government. Imagine Dennis Cornwall, a senior public officer who ought to know, who was involved previously in structural adjustment program, making this pronouncement that there is no need for a parallel public service. He practically vetoed what Deacon Mitchell said when he sensationalized it in the interview with Mr. Forrester. It's difficult. It's difficult for NDC to defend that. Now we have to, we must hold discussion in our homes, in the junction, on the block, and try to find out what is a teaching hospital, how the teaching hospital will improve the people of Moya and Paradise and Maribo and Conference and Lakabeke and Gove and St. David and St. George's. How would the teaching hospital benefit us in the next 10 years? Wouldn't it better, even if Deacon intend to continue building his teaching hospital, in the short term and medium term, to provide medical help for our people in the clinic, making certain that Grenadians in the parish have access for 3 to 4 days a week for doctors within a 12-hour period. And make certain for 3 to 4 hours, for 3 to 4 days, for about 12 hours, we have access to a dentist. So you might have 2 dentists functioning, or 1 dentist a day. That is practical. That is simple. That is available. And you could see it. The doctor is going to get to know the people in the community. They're going to have confidence in the doctor. The doctor is going to be able to reach the people. And every now and then you bring a psychiatrist. The doctor may choose in a particular area in Congo Town. We have too much children there coming dental. So let me go in the school and give a little lecture. This thing is not, it's simple. It's practical and it's simple. So how come Deacon not thinking about that? You're going to build a teaching hospital. Who is benefiting from a teaching hospital? Who? You see this thing? Is O'Halloran involved? Why is it this group of individuals is hiding from the press? You're not suspicious that all of a sudden they're hiding from the press? Why? These are legitimate questions. If Onisto could answer it, I've been trying to ask him, he don't answer in questions. He come on the program with a fake profile, so he can call. And even when I ask questions, the National Democratic Warriors, they themselves are dissatisfied. They are troubled and they're dissatisfied. Government put their supporters in a hard position. They can't defend the government. They will tell you, give us some more time. They're hoping against hope that Deacon have a conversion on the road to Damascus. If the Prime Minister fire the Minister of Finance, is a good start. You can't continue like that. The direction we're going heading for the circumstances that going on in Haiti. The Minister of Labor, she said, let us be frank with the people. Otherwise, we're going to have serious problem. We're going to do irreparable problems to the economy. That is a serious statement. You know. Yes, caller, welcome. Yeah. A serious problem. We're going to cause even irreparable problem. No, I appeal to the people in the lower income group. You are not unionized. So no union not seeking your interest. So you have to wake up. The parliamentary representative said, people have to understand election of consequences. And I could understand perhaps the sense of exasperation. Because I told you so. I told you so. You didn't believe me. So now we must ask questions. Whole discussion among our family members, on the block, in the villages, and try to find out what this teaching hospital is about. Is it an intention to make us guinea pig? And think, what's about the suggestion of having doctors in the clinics on a regular basis? And we end the program for this week on Monday on the program On Target. Remember, we have the extension tomorrow morning. Thank you very much.